How prepared are you for a disaster? Just imagine, an unforeseen catastrophe strikes and you're left to fend for yourself. Are you ready? Welcome to a sobering reality that many of us push to the back of our minds. The reality that disasters, often abrupt and devastating, can and do occur, leaving us in situations we're not prepared for. We're talking about survival black swans, random, unpredictable events that can have severe, widespread consequences. These are not your everyday emergencies. We're talking about catastrophes that can change the course of your life in an instant. The kind of events that can leave you without access to basic resources like food, water, or medical supplies. It's a grim scenario, but it's a possibility we must face. In such dire situations, your survival hinges on how prepared you are. Your ability to anticipate the unexpected and plan for the worst can make the difference between life and death. In the face of disaster, preparedness is the key to survival. One of the most crucial aspects of preparedness is stockpiling. But why is it so important? Well, let's delve into the heart of the matter. A crisis, by definition, is a time of intense difficulty or danger. During such times, essential items become scarce, and panic buying becomes the norm, leaving shelves bare and people desperate. This is where stockpiling comes into play. Having a well-prepared stockpile ensures that you and your family have access to the essentials when they are in short supply. Now, you might have heard some myths about stockpiling. One of them is that it's unnecessary or that it's an overreaction. But let's debunk that right now. In a crisis, everyone rushes to the stores, leading to shortages. And guess what the government does before a crisis? They stockpile. They secure essential supplies to ensure their operations continue unhindered. If the government sees the wisdom in stockpiling, surely it's a strategy we should consider too. Let's take a moment to look back. Remember the oil crisis in the 70s? Or more recently, the global pandemic. Essential items were in short supply, and those who had stockpiled could weather the storm while others scrambled. There were shortages of everything from toilet paper to canned goods. And let's not forget medical supplies. These are not hypothetical scenarios, they have happened and will happen again. So the question isn't whether you should stockpile, but what you should stockpile and how. But we'll get to that in the next scenes. For now, let's focus on the fact that stockpiling is not a paranoid response to a potential crisis. It's a practical, proactive strategy to ensure your family's survival during tough times. Remember, history repeats itself. The shortages of the past can and will occur again. Now that we understand the importance of stockpiling, what are the key items that we should be storing? First and foremost, water is the lifeblood of survival. Without it, we can only last a few days. Whether it's for drinking, cooking, or hygiene, water is a must-have. In a crisis, access to clean water can become scarce, making it a highly sought-after commodity. Next, we have food. When we say food, we're talking about non-perishable items that can last you for months or even years. This includes canned goods, dried foods, and freeze-dried meals. These not only provide essential nutrients but also offer a sense of normalcy during chaotic times. But remember, don't just stockpile any food. Consider dietary needs and preferences to ensure everyone's well-being. Third on our list is medical supplies. Injuries and illnesses are common during disasters, and having a well-stocked first aid kit can be a lifesaver. This includes bandages, antiseptic wipes, tweezers, medical tape, and over-the-counter medicines. Prescription medications are also vital, so ensure you have an adequate supply. Next, we look at the importance of hygiene products. Maintaining cleanliness can prevent disease outbreaks and improve morale. Items like soap, toothpaste, toilet paper, and feminine hygiene products often become luxury items during a crisis. Fifth, we turn to tools and equipment. A multi-purpose tool, a sturdy knife, a reliable flashlight, and batteries are all essential. They can help you make repairs, prepare food, and navigate in the dark. A manual can opener is also a must-have. Imagine having all those canned goods and no way to open them. Lastly, we have fuel and warmth. This could be propane for your stove, wood for your fireplace, or gas for your generator. Warm clothing and blankets are also critical, especially during winter months or in colder climates. In a disaster, these items can become more valuable than gold. People may be desperate to get their hands on them, and having a well-stocked supply can make the difference between survival and tragedy. But remember, stockpiling is not about hoarding or taking more than you need. It's about being prepared and ensuring the well-being of you and your loved ones. These items are not just commodities, they are lifelines during a crisis. Having these items is one thing, but storing them safely is another. When it comes to survival, the safe and efficient storage of your supplies is just as crucial as the items themselves. Firstly, let's consider the location. Your stockpile should be kept in a cool, dry place, away from direct sunlight and intense heat. This helps to prolong the shelf life of food items and prevent degradation of necessary tools or equipment. If possible, storing supplies off the ground on shelves or in cabinets can help protect them from potential water damage or pests. Secondly, organization is key. Grouping similar items together and clearly labeling everything can speed up the process when you need to find something in a hurry. Remember, in a crisis, every second counts. Thirdly, consider the containers you're using for storage. Food items should be kept in airtight containers to keep them fresh and free from pests. Metal or plastic bins with secure lids can be a good choice for non-perishable items. If you're storing water, make sure the containers are food grade and resistant to bacterial growth. Rotation is another important aspect of supply storage. It's the simple practice of using the oldest items first and replacing them with new ones. This ensures that your stockpile stays fresh and usable. Remember, first in, first out. Lastly, remember that a good survivalist doesn't put all their eggs in one basket. It's wise to have multiple storage locations in case one becomes compromised. This could mean having a main stockpile at home and smaller caches at a secondary location, or even buried at a secret spot. Remember, a well-stored stockpile is like a well-oiled machine. It functions efficiently, it's easy to use, and it's reliable when you need it the most. So take the time to store your supplies correctly. It may seem like a mundane task now, but in a crisis situation it could be the difference between survival and disaster. With proper storage, your stockpile will be your saving grace when disaster strikes. But don't worry if this seems overwhelming. A guide to help you navigate through it all. Introducing the Stockpile Savior Guide, a comprehensive manual created by Mark Anderson, a man with extensive knowledge and experience in crisis survival. His expertise has transformed into an essential tool that can help you prepare for any disaster, any survival black swan, as he calls it. The Stockpile Savior Guide provides a roadmap to build a bulletproof stockpile in just 10 days. You heard it right, 10 days. It's not just about what to stockpile, but also how to store them safely. The guide debunks myths about stockpiling and teaches you how to secure supplies before panic buying occurs. It's a step-by-step process, making it easy to follow and implement. The guide is filled with practical tips and strategies, but one thing that makes it stand out is the personal touch. Mark shares his personal story, a mistake that almost cost his daughter's life. It's a heartfelt narrative that underscores the importance of being prepared. Now you may be wondering, does this guide really work? Let's hear it from those who have benefited from it. One testimonial says, "The Stockpile Savior Guide is a lifesaver. It helped me prepare for a crisis, and now I feel confident that my family and I can survive any disaster." Another satisfied customer shares, "I was clueless about stockpiling, but the guide made it simple and achievable. Now I have a stockpile that can last for months." The Stockpile Savior isn't just a guide, it's a tool for survival, a beacon of hope in times of uncertainty. It's a reflection of Mark's commitment to helping people prepare for unforeseen catastrophes. The Stockpile Savior is your guide to survival. Remember, preparedness is not about predicting the future, it's about being ready for it.